Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds, owner of Mint Mobile, with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
New activation and upfront payment for 3-month plan required. Taxes and fees extra. Additional restrictions apply. See mintmobile.com for full terms.
'Tis the season to shine with H&M. Discover the holiday collection and find fashionable pieces for your wardrobe or for under the tree. Get inspired and dazzle with this year's glam. From tuxedo styles, bow detailed pieces, impressive prints, and more. From unforgettable looks to unforgettable gifts. With fashion finds to home decor, find it all at H&M. Treat your loved ones and yourself this season. Shop in-store or at hm.com.
Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds, owner of Mint Mobile, with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
New activation and upfront payment for 3-month plan required. Taxes and fees extra. Additional restrictions apply. See mintmobile.com for full terms.
'Tis the season to shine with H&M. Discover the holiday collection and find fashionable pieces for your wardrobe or for under the tree. Get inspired and dazzle with this year's glam. From tuxedo styles, bow detailed pieces, impressive prints, and more. From unforgettable looks to unforgettable gifts. With fashion finds to home decor, find it all at H&M. Treat your loved ones and yourself this season. Shop in-store or at hm.com. 'Tis the season to shine with H&M. Discover the holiday collection and find fashionable pieces for your wardrobe or for under the tree. Get inspired and dazzle with this year's glam. From tuxedo styles, bow detailed pieces, impressive prints, and more. From unforgettable looks to unforgettable gifts. With fashion finds to home decor, find it all at H&M. Treat your loved ones and yourself this season. Shop in-store or at hm.com.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Selling a little or a lot? Do your thing however you cha-ching with Shopify, the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout. 36% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms. Get a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/offer23.
I'm fulfilled when I get to take every moment in. I am fulfilled when I'm with my husband and I get to wrestle him. I get to put him in what I call a choker hold. He laughs because it's not necessarily a choker hold because I don't have him tight and I don't have my arms wrapped around him tight enough. But those are the moments that I am fulfilled. I am fulfilled in taking in every single moment. Hey girl, imagine a life where you feel supported, connected, and understood. I get it. Being a mom is hard, especially when you're spinning so many plates. We exhaust ourselves trying to create the perfect life for our family. You deserve to enjoy your family without the stress perfectionism brings. On this podcast, I provide practical and relatable life experiences. I teach women quick and easy to use strategies to help them reclaim their identity, reignite their marriage, and enjoy their children. If you're ready to be challenged, then pull up a chair, grab a pen and paper because it's about to go down. I'm Veronica Cisneros, a licensed marriage and family therapist, and this is the Empowered and Unapologetic Podcast. You know, for the longest time, I struggled with confidence, self-worth, and identity. And I'd like to say I was able to address all of these issues by reading a self-help book. However, I'd totally be lying. And I've been sitting here I'm in my new office, and I've been sitting here thinking about how I'm going to teach you about confidence. What words am I going to say that are going to inspire you and take you to this next level where you feel confident in who you are and you feel this sense of empowerment? Then I thought about a couple questions that you've asked me at one point. How can I be confident in me? How can I be confident in the decisions I make? How can I learn to take action before the fear of failure takes over? How can I refrain from feeling insignificant? And I thought about a time when I felt all of those things. And don't get me wrong, it hasn't just been one time, it's been several times. But one time that I can remember, and it was when Willie and I were on the path towards divorce. I never felt so exposed. I'd never felt so out of control. I had never felt so lost and uncertain. And it was as if everything that I knew was stripped away. My plan was always to be successful. It was always to be successful. And I'd like to say I was one of those people that had always dreamed about being married. But looking at my parents and their marriage, it was something that I did not want. It was something that I feared. And I feared it because I watched this dynamic of arguing and getting back together, arguing and being cheated on, arguing and, somebody saying that they would give everything, all of their life to you. But at the same time, that was that same person that would hurt you. And I watched that dynamic for a very long time, and that's all I knew. So when I did get married, I tried to go ahead and do everything in my power to do the opposite of that, not knowing that by doing the opposite, I was going to run into the same issues. I was going to fight like no other. I was going to love not like no other. I was going to deny love like no other. And I did that. I pushed him away as much as possible because I did not know how to receive love. And I was so afraid of it. And so what did I do? I did everything I thought was expected of me. I made sure I had a clean house. I made sure I woke up every single morning to cook him his breakfast, to make him his breakfast, to make him his lunch, to make him his dinner. And I try to be this exceptional mom, tend to my daughter, tend to my husband's needs. I did all of those things. I followed all of those rules. So why wasn't I happy? Looking back, I didn't necessarily know what happiness meant. I didn't know what a happy relationship, a healthy relationship looked like. I knew what was on TV. And I hate to admit this, but that's literally what was my guide. It was this sense of, I don't know, it was kind of like, it kind of worked as like this playbook on what to do, what not to do. And I followed that, not knowing that that was going to get me in a whole heap of trouble because it wasn't real. It wasn't real. So how the hell can I have confidence? How the hell can I have any form of self-worth or even personal value if the dialogue for my marriage involved some manuscript that didn't even necessarily exist because, well, it wasn't mine. It was something off of a movie. So right now I want you to think about what brings you life. And right away when I ask that question, I think of my daughters. And I think of their smiles and their laugh. But I want you to go even further than your kids. Because sure, your kids can bring you so much joy. But when they move out, then what? So I think of this question. And I'm left with me. I'm truly left with me. Because in the end, it's me. And if I rely on my husband to go ahead and fulfill my needs, I'm going to be met with disappointment. Hell, if I rely on my kids to meet my needs, I'm going to be met with disappointment. They're not going to do it right. Not for a lack of trying, but just because they don't know how. I asked one of my clients this question, and he was left speechless. I asked him if he was fulfilled. And he immediately replied with, Veronica, I'm not sure exactly what you mean. Like, am I fulfilled with where I'm at in life, successful, with my success, with my career, financially, like with my family? And I had said, no, take all of that out. Are you fulfilled with the life that you have chosen to live? And he asked for an example. And I was like, oh, damn. Now I have to answer. Because yes, of course, he did throw it back on me. Veronica, are you fulfilled? And the answer to that question started off with, I had always thought that me being fulfilled was somewhere in line with my career. I wanted so badly to go to college, ended up going to college and graduated. But it wasn't a big deal. I wanted to go ahead and get into grad school because I wanted to be a therapist. Graduated. Still wasn't fulfilled. I wanted to pursue this life of being a therapist, right? And helping others. And I ended up getting into a training facility, a hospital setting, which I wanted so badly, and I was told it wasn't possible. Got in, still wasn't fulfilled. I had the husband, I had the kids. Why wasn't I fulfilled? This is something that I always dreamt of. This is something I essentially wanted to be. And yet here I am, unfulfilled. And I always give this analogy of you setting the goal of, wanting to go ahead and complete a marathon. But then after you've completed the goal, what's next? And that was always a question I asked myself. What's next? Does somebody fulfilled ask that question? What's next? No. Hell no. And I was honest when I was answering my client's question by giving all of these examples. And what I realized is it doesn't matter how much money I have in my bank account. It doesn't matter whether I have a private practice or now own a group practice. It doesn't matter if I have a podcast. It doesn't matter if I have the dog, the kids, the husband, the sexiest husband, the beautiful girls. None of that truly matters when it comes to the question of if you are fulfilled. Because although those are all things that I have, those aren't going to be the things that essentially fulfill me. Which means I have to look at myself. Am I fulfilled? Yes, I am. Here's why. I am fulfilled when I get to take every moment in. I am fulfilled when I'm with my husband and I get to wrestle him. I get to put him in what I call a choker hold. He laughs because it's not necessarily a choker hold because I don't have him tight and I don't have my arms wrapped around him tight enough. But those are the moments that I am fulfilled. I am fulfilled in taking in every single moment. I struggled with confidence because I didn't trust myself. I didn't trust that I was capable of taking care of myself. I always had depended on somebody else giving me permission, somebody else telling me what to do, what not to do. And I was so focused on how they perceived me that I was blind. I was completely blind because I wasn't happy. And I had to do a great amount of work on myself, a substantial amount of work on myself. And till this day, I'm doing work on myself, and I will do that work till the day I die. But I am fulfilled because I have allowed myself to live intentionally. I'd like to tell you that I do that every single day, every single minute of the day, and that would be a lie. It's a complete lie because it requires work. Living intentionally is truly taking in the moment. When I'm on autopilot, I am not in the moment. And whenever I'm on autopilot, that is definitely when I lack confidence. And so I'm going to ask you, are you fulfilled? Not who fulfills you. Are you fulfilled? Are you fulfilled by taking in every single moment in life? And if the answer is no, or if you're crying right now, I want you to ask yourself, why have you denied yourself love? Why have you denied yourself moments of laughter, moments of life? Why do you continue to self-sabotage? Why is it so freaking important that you stick to the damn checklist? Why is it so freaking important that you stick to the freaking rules? Why? Is it because you've been taught? Is it because that's all you know? Is it because it's been in some movie? Why have you allowed somebody else to determine your life? This is really the reason why you lack confidence. This is really the reason why you struggle with making decisions. This is really the reason why you struggle with taking action. This is also the reason why I feel that fear of failure sets in and takes over and allows you to feel insignificant. We can all use a little help in our marriage, especially when it comes to communicating. I have created a guide just for you. And guess what? It's 100% free. I will give you practical tips and easy-to-use strategies to apply right now. That's right, right now, today. You all know I'm a huge advocate for you mamas, and I am on a mission to help you experience true connection and stress-free living. Ladies, we are setting our marriages up for success. It starts with you. You will find this freebie here in my show notes or go to empoweredandunapologetic.com/guide. The information I will be providing you is next level, and people pay good money to get these tips that I will be giving you for free. Don't forget to share this with a friend who needs it. I always thought when I heard other people say that anytime you can choose your life, I laughed because it's like, that's impossible. You don't know my life. That's impossible because you don't know my situation. You don't know how much money is in my bank account. You don't know that I can't even have a word with my husband because I'm so afraid of having a deep conversation because I don't know what the hell it'll look like. And it wasn't until I started to create the life that I wanted to live and actually did it, like started to implement it and started to experience failure, started to experience disappointment. And I got my ass up and I did it again. It wasn't until those moments that I realized, oh, wait a minute. You are capable of living the life you want to live. You just have to take action. You just have to take action. And you might not know what the first step is, and that's okay. That's okay, because I'm going to tell you something. The first step is recognizing that you don't know what that looks like. That is the absolute first step, is admitting you have no clue what it looks like. And also, maybe even realizing that you don't know and you don't have the skills. Okay, so we're here. We don't know, we don't have the skills. So now I got to look at who does. Who does? And so what I did, and I'm just going to give it to you straight. What I did was I looked at people in my life that were doing things that I wanted to do. And I would ask them questions. I would literally ask them questions, and I called them my angels. And I called them my angels because these were the people that I was going to learn from. These were the people in so many ways that I wanted to emulate. You know, and I would look at all of their characteristics, what they did, how they did it, you know, and again, I would ask them questions. And one thing that I noticed was each person that I adored, that I admired, all had one thing in common. They were all open and honest with not knowing what the end would look like. They were all open and honest with regards to their fears of failure. They were all open and honest about admitting that they struggle with taking the next step and they do it anyway. And so for me, that next step would possibly be, I don't know, it would possibly be this like self-sacrifice. It would possibly be the end of my marriage. What if I didn't like who I was after I did this work? Hell, what if I didn't like him after I did this work? And I did it anyway. Because staying in this state of uncertainty, staying in this state of fear was not good enough for me anymore. It wasn't. And I wanted something different. And I realized that if my life looked like this, where I'm chasing goals, chasing rules, chasing people's perception and acceptance and trying to do my best to meet their expectations, that it was going to be living hell, because I didn't want to live another year like that. I couldn't live another year like that. My marriage wouldn't survive if I lived another year like that. And so I knew to be confident, I had to trust myself. And slowly I started to make decisions. Don't get me wrong. I wanted validation. I wanted validation so badly. I wanted somebody to tell me, yes, Veronica, you're making the right decision. Why did I want that? Which brings me to step 2. Why was it so important that somebody validated my decision? Well, the reason it was so important is because then I could place the blame on somebody else. Well, so-and-so told me this was a good decision. I knew it was a bad one, but I didn't trust my gut, so I went with it. And I could blame them. Again, though, that would leave me to question my own state of confidence. And it would lead me to question that because I didn't trust myself. Now it's proof that I don't trust myself. And I didn't want that. So I had to make that next step. Validation or no validation. I had to provide myself with self-validation. And what is self-validation, you ask? Self-validation is when you say that what you're experiencing is true and you own it. I'm scared out of my mind, and that's okay. That's self-validation. I don't know what this will look like, and I'm frightened. I'm frightened to take the next step. That is self-validation. I'm afraid that I will not like the person that I become, and that's okay. That is self-validation. And it's self-validation because I'm saying that what I'm experiencing in this moment is true and it is okay. So how am I going to make these life decisions? What is this going to look like? And how am I going to receive failure? How am I going to experience judgment? What the hell are other people going to think of me? That was big. That was so big. Because here are life decisions that I'm making, and I'm solely making them on my own. What if my husband doesn't agree with it? What if people looking at my marriage don't agree with it? Hell, what are they going to say? How are they going to react? Because this is totally outside of the norm. Wait a minute, you're not cooking anymore? What, you forget to cook? You forget how to cook? Maybe it was because she didn't know how to cook, and so she stopped because it was better that way. Maybe it's that she doesn't really like her kids, and that's why she's not with them all the time, and she's working. Maybe it's because her and her husband are having problems, and she had to go back to work. That's what it is. Her and her husband had problems, and she had to go back to work. And she's not necessarily, pursuing her dream. She's just saying that. Oh my God, I feared that so much. I feared it because I didn't know how to handle judgment. And because I didn't know how to handle judgment, I would try to run away from it. You ever have those moments where you just want to run away? You feel so judged. You feel so insignificant. You feel so exposed, and you just want to run away because you don't know how to attack the problem. You don't know how to face it. And a part of you believes that what they're saying is true. Yeah, I was there too. What I learned to do was sit in that discomfort. And I sat in it. And it sucked. And I cried. I cried because I couldn't believe people thought of me in that light. More importantly, I couldn't believe I was exposed. And I was so frustrated. I was so frustrated with myself and felt so overwhelmed. And I allowed myself to have all of those feelings. Slowly, I let things go. And as I let things go, like the house, the cooking, the cleaning, Willie started to take notice. And we had conversations, really deep conversations about it. And it was really difficult for him because he had to mourn that loss. He had to mourn that loss. And he had to mourn that loss because I was no longer the wife that he had married. I was somebody else. I was starting to step into who I really was. And to be honest, Veronica doesn't like cooking. Oh my God, that sounded so funny when I spoke, when I said, I talked in first person, but Veronica, she doesn't like to be exposed. And so I had to ask myself, okay, well, what the hell doesn't Veronica like to do? And what does Veronica like to do? And I started exploring it. I started exploring what I liked to do, what felt right, what didn't feel right. And I've shared with you on previous episodes where I had this day where I created the perfect day, where I did everything that I wanted to do and I didn't hold back. I wanted to swim that day, so I went ahead and jumped in the pool. I wanted to go ahead and slow dance with my husband and eat outside, and that's exactly what I did. I put on music, some love making music, and I did that. I after we were done eating outside, which is exactly what I wanted, and I coordinated, I went ahead and played music, and he and I just danced outside. I grabbed him and I asked him to dance with me, and thank God he said yes. But if he wouldn't have said yes, I would have done it anyway. I would have grabbed, my little monkey feet or my porcupine or my lizard legs. I would have grabbed all three of them and danced. But that's the thing, facing your fear and doing it anyway, even if you're met with rejection. Do it anyway, because it starts with you. It starts with you. You want to stop being that mom who yells all the time? Do something about it. Identify why you're yelling. Identify why you're that mom that's not pursuing her dreams, but yet tells her kids that they can be whoever they want to be. Own it. Own it. What's really standing in your way? What's really standing in your way about making any of these decisions? Mama, it's lack of confidence. It's this huge lack of trust. You don't believe that you are capable of doing it. You don't believe you are capable of doing it. That's the only thing that sets you apart from you and living the life you want to live, from you and pursuing the life you want to live. Do it. And if you need validation, here it is. Mama, yes, I know you're overwhelmed. Yes, I know you're stressed. Yes, I know that you are not currently fulfilled in life. So what are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about it? Well, grab a pen and paper because we're going to start. This next step is you identifying what is it that you want in life. What do you want 1 year from now to look like? And I'm seriously asking you to grab a pen and paper. Grab a pen and paper because I want you to write this down. 1 year from now. 1 year from now. And I'm recording this on September 8th, 2021. 1 year from now. So September 8th, 2022. That's your deadline. What do you want your life to look like? How can we set you up for success? And I want you to literally write it down. Is it that you want to go back to school? Is it that you want to pursue a certain career? Is it that you want to go ahead and pursue training? What is it? Do you want to feel connected with your husband? Okay, write that down. Do you want to be an exceptional mom? Do you want to be an exceptional wife? Do you want to be an exceptional version of you? Notice how I said exceptional, not perfect. Because if that's the case, write that down. And I want you to write it down as if you've already done it. So September 8th, 2022, I am an exceptional wife. I am an exceptional mother. I have pursued my dream of schooling. And I am attending fill in the blank, this college. And I know it sounds crazy and it sounds totally far-fetched. Do it anyway. This is your calling. Do it now. What decisions do you want to make in life? What are they? Is it that you want to go ahead and learn how to connect, learn how to love yourself? Okay. Well, by September 8th, 2022, I am living this life of intention. My husband and I go out on dates every single weekend, every single Saturday or every single Friday or whatever day you can get a babysitter. I am an exceptional mom. Maybe one day out of the week, I read bedtime stories to my kids. Notice how I said one day and I didn't say every single day. I don't want you to set yourself up for this feeling of failure. I don't want you to go too extreme. I want you to come up with something that is realistic for you. I don't want you to overwhelm yourself. And an exceptional mom does not look like a clean home, clean kids, and a well-fed husband. That is not what identifies you. Hear me when I say that. That is not what identifies you. A clean house does not identify you. Being an exceptional wife, that's a size 2, does not identify you. You get to determine what that is, whether it's a size 2 or a size 10 or a size 12 or whatever the hell your size is. It doesn't matter. You get to go ahead and decide what that looks like. So now after you've decided what you want your life to look like, now I want you to identify what is currently standing in your way. What is currently standing in your way of pursuing the life you want to live? Is it mindset work? Is it lack of finances? Is it a lack of confidence? What is it? Put it on paper. I want you to actually look at what this is, and I want you to write it down. I want you to write it down because I want to help you come face to face with this threat, because that's what it's been. It's been a threat. And I'm going to tell you right now, you can defeat it because I am going to help you. And I take a great deal of pride in what I do. And mama means business. So I'm going to help you. But I want you to write down what is going to stand in the way of you pursuing the life you want to live. Write it down. Now, after you've already listed about 6 things that are standing in the way of you pursuing the life you want to live, I want you to create action steps. I want you to create action steps. What can I do this week? What can I do? If it's going back to school, all right. You don't need to apply right now. I mean, if you're ready to apply, let's go. If this speech has got you so motivated that right now you're online looking for schools, hell yeah, girl, high five. But if not, let's start small. What if you start to research schools and just get an idea of what's affordable, what's close by, what is something that is realistic? And I want you to look at that. And I want you to start to do that homework. You don't necessarily have to apply right now. All we're doing is we're looking. We're being a little bit of an investigator. We're doing our research. And then next, I want you to describe what it would feel like to say, I am. And then whatever it is that you've become in a year. I am an exceptional mom. I am an exceptional wife. I am a student in college. I am a student in training. I have pursued my goal and I have completed my training. I have completed my education, whatever the hell it is. I want you to write down what it would feel like. So let me help you. I want you to close your eyes right now. And I want you to imagine that you're there. You are there. You did it. You did it. And I'm so proud of you. I'm so very proud of you because I know it took you stepping outside of your comfort zone to get this done. I know it took a whole bunch of rearranging your schedule. I know it took a whole bunch of sacrifice. And Mama, you did it. What does this feel like? And if you first have to identify what it feels like in your body, like what your physiological response is, what you're physically feeling, then write that down. Do you have butterflies? Is there this sense of excitement? What is it? What's happening for you in your body right now? Are you excited? Are you happy? Are you motivated? Are you feeling confident? Do you trust that you are capable of taking yourself to the next level? I'm going to say, hell yeah. Hell yeah. No longer feeling insignificant, ready to take action, not allowing that fear of failure to get in the way and come in between you and your freaking dreams. Mama, you have a year. You have a year. And I'm going to be here with you the entire way. And I want to know exactly what you're doing to pursue your dreams. I want to know exactly what you're doing to become that exceptional mom, to become that exceptional wife. I want to know because I want to be a part of this journey with you. And if you haven't followed me on Instagram yet, I want you to follow me, and or even on Facebook, I want you to tag me, or I want you to DM me and tell me what this goal is. I want you to take a snapshot of everything you've written down, and I want you to send it to me. I'm totally serious. I want you to take that snapshot and send it to me. And if you're not on Facebook, if you're not on Instagram, then email me the damn list. Email me that picture. And you can email me at veronica@empoweredandunapologetic.com. And I'm going to celebrate this win with you. In addition to that, I also want to provide you with a free guide. A free guide to help you work towards being that exceptional mom and being that exceptional wife. And that free guide is called The 5 Mistakes to Avoid for a Healthy Marriage, Tips from a Therapist. And in there, I give you quick and easy to use strategies. And in addition to that, I provide you with loads of information to go ahead and take your marriage to the next step. It's quick, it's easy, and it's downloadable. Oh, did I forget to mention? It's totally free. So I want you to download that right now because that's going to also help you and provide you with so much insight. Mama, I'm so proud of you. I am so proud of you. You did it. Now put it in action. Many women lose their own identity in the shadow of being a mom and a wife. We are a community of women who support each other. We leave perfectionism behind to become empowered and unapologetic. I want to personally invite you to join our Girl Gang. It's a free Facebook community for women just like you. Go to www.facebook.com/groups/empowered and unapologetic. See you there. What's up, ladies? Just want to let you guys know that your ratings and reviews for this podcast are greatly appreciated. If you love this podcast, please go to iTunes right now, write a review, rate the episode, and subscribe. Don't forget to share it with your friends.
Addiction impacts all of us. Addiction's consequences run through all of us. From ourselves to our loved ones and to our communities, addiction creates so much loss and grief. My name is Dwayne Osterlin, and I'm the host of the Addicted Mind podcast, a show featuring personal stories, expert guests, and vital information about addiction and addiction recovery. We'll talk with leading treatment providers to discuss the latest research and treatment options for this devastating disease and advocate for mental health awareness. We discuss topics like the importance of creating a community of support to helping loved ones to some of the latest research on psychedelic medicines. The Addicted Mind podcast has been about creating hope, listening to stories of many amazing people that have overcome addiction and are thriving. If you or a loved one is struggling with addiction, subscribe to the Addicted Mind podcast wherever you get your podcasts or check out theaddictedmind.com. New episodes every Monday. See you there.
Hey there, this is Casey McGuire Davidson, host of the Hello Someday podcast. I'm an ex-red wine girl turned life coach who helps busy women change their relationship with alcohol. I spent 20 years climbing the corporate ladder while drinking a bottle of wine a night to unwind. In the Hello Someday podcast, my goal is to teach you the tried and true secrets of creating and living a life you don't want to escape from. Each week, I'll bring you tools, lessons, and conversations to help you drink less and live more. I'll teach you how to navigate our drinking-obsessed culture without a buzz and how to turn the decision to stop drinking from your worst-case scenario to the best decision of your life. You can find new episodes of the Hello Someday podcast every Thursday, wherever you listen, and I hope you check it out.
I know we've been taught that motherhood requires alcohol. I know we've been taught not to question our relationship with alcohol until we've lost everything. And I know we've been taught that if we do dare to examine our relationship with alcohol, we need to head straight to AA and declare ourselves an alcoholic who is powerless to alcohol forever. But what if all that isn't true? That's definitely not my story. I'm Suzanne, the host of the Sober Mom Life podcast. I'm an influencer who stopped drinking in January 2020, and since then, I've been telling the truth about motherhood, influencing, alcohol, and sobriety. If you suspect deep down that glass or 3 of wine at night might just be making motherhood harder, well, you're right. Come and join me as I chat with other sober and sober-curious moms. Let's laugh, cry, and normalize sobriety together, all while we reheat our coffee for the 4th time today.
Hey there. This is Casey McGuire Davidson, host of the Hello Someday podcast. I'm an ex-red wine girl turned life coach who helps busy women change their relationship with alcohol. I spent 20 years climbing the corporate ladder while drinking a bottle of wine a night to unwind. In the Hello Someday podcast, my goal is to teach you the tried and true secrets of creating and living a life you don't want to escape from. Each week, I'll bring you tools, lessons, and conversations to help you drink less and live more. I'll teach you how to navigate our drinking-obsessed culture without a buzz and how to turn the decision to stop drinking from your worst-case scenario to the best decision of your life. You can find new episodes of the Hello Someday podcast every Thursday, wherever you listen, and I hope you check it out.
I know we've been taught that motherhood requires alcohol. I know we've been taught not to question our relationship with alcohol until we've lost everything. And I know we've been taught that if we do dare to examine our relationship with alcohol, we need to head straight to AA and declare ourselves an alcoholic who is powerless to alcohol forever. But what if all that isn't true? That's definitely not my story. I'm Suzanne, the host of the Sober Mom Life podcast. I'm an influencer who stopped drinking in January 2020, and since then, I've been telling the truth about motherhood, influencing, alcohol, and sobriety. If you suspect deep down that glass or 3 of wine at night might just be making motherhood harder, well, you're right. Come and join me as I chat with other sober and sober-curious moms. Let's laugh, cry, and normalize sobriety together, all while we reheat our coffee for the 4th time today.
It's easy to blame ourselves for our struggles with alcohol. We see people around us being able to control their drinking without any consequences, yet no matter what we try, we can't seem to figure it out for ourselves. My name is Jillian Tietz, and I am the host of the Sober Powered podcast, where I use my biochemistry background to explain the latest research in addiction and help you understand both why you drink the way you do and how to develop the skills and mindset you need to find freedom from alcohol. I discuss topics like why we think about our drinking 24/7, why we have no off switch, and why we crave alcohol. If you're struggling with your drinking or you know someone who is, then I hope that you will check out the Sober Powered podcast. New episodes every Friday. See you there. It's easy to blame ourselves for our struggles with alcohol. We see people around us being able to control their drinking without any consequences, yet no matter what we try, we can't seem to figure it out for ourselves. My name is Jillian Tietz, and I am the host of the Sober Powered podcast, where I use my biochemistry background to explain the latest research in addiction and help you understand both why you drink the way you do and how to develop the skills and mindset you need to find freedom from alcohol. I discuss topics like why we think about our drinking 24/7, why we have no off switch, and why we crave alcohol. If you're struggling with your drinking or you know someone who is, then I hope that you will check out the Sober Powered podcast. New episodes every Friday. See you there.